Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, Everything Product. We talk about latest technologies with a product mindset. This is Funny Vuyuru. I'm a product manager at a startup.
This is Sid Saladi. I'm a product manager working for Best Buy.
For everyone who is watching our podcast for the first time, right? We both are product managers and we talk about several product management concepts. And we also take the latest technologies, go through it, and give our product management views on that. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this. All right, let's talk about humanoids today. We have seen a lot in this industry, right? We've seen dogs running on different kinds of terrains. We have seen dancing bots, and recently we have seen Optimus, which is doing like a lot of operations without human interference. So let's talk all of these things. Let's talk about the history of the humanoids. Let's talk about what did Boston Dynamics do? Let's talk about Tesla and how are they strategically positioned to deliver the better bots. We'll also talk about, as product managers, what could be the total market and what are the industries and the use cases this could revolutionize. So, Sidhu, let me start with the simple question, right? What is the history of humanoids and why do you think they're useful?
Yeah, so I'd say robots have been there for generations, right, Fanny? So we have a lot of all of any machine, right, that performs a certain task can be called a robot. But I think for last decade or so, there has been a lot of different prototypes that are kind of human looking, which are called humanoids, which have been evolving, and a lot of companies are actually trying to do this. So initially Toyota was actually trying to do something similar where it had the physique of a human, which had legs and hands, and this basically talks to people, greets people, and all of that stuff. And after I think 15 years of development, it was shut down. Yes, and there has been Boston Dynamics who has been doing a lot of different robots, like the dog, which is Spot, and there's also Atlas, a human-like robot. And recently, we have seen Tesla also jumping into the race where they're saying we are going to build a humanoid robot, and the evolution has been the iteration of the velocity at the which the team has been going has been pretty rapid, right? I think back in September when they initially announced this, the big vision, there was a man who was wearing a suit, kind of dancing around, and they were saying that okay, the actual humanoid robot would look something similar to this. After I think 3 or 4 months, they had another robo which was moving its hands around but didn't actually walk. People actually brought it onto the stage, and now the last week's investor day, they have a robo which walks and also maybe tightens some screws and all of that stuff. So I like the way which Tesla is going on, but I would say there have been a lot of different trials that went into making humanoids and failed in the past. So let's maybe dig deep and see what we have to talk about today.
Yeah, absolutely. And this question is very intriguing for me, right? Why a humanoid? So as humans, we have a lot of limitations. So, for example, we can't do a lot of things with the limited, what do you say, hands. Like the size of our hands is small, legs are small, etc. But if you think of the crazy machines, like crazy big machines that Tesla has, it could probably do like 15 or 20 different things in a much more faster and efficient way. So, why do you think a humanoid is useful?
I have a I actually thought about this. Like, okay, you could build a lot of different things, and why do you want to create a general purpose humanoid robot that maybe works in factories and also stays at your home helping you and all of that stuff? I feel that over the years, right, we have developed a lot of different systems that basically are could be used for humans, right? The same shape and factor, right? Like washing dishes, the way where we design our roads, the factories, everything is basically designed around a human walking around and being able to do all of these tasks. So I would say it is a much easier task to build a robot that is looking similar to us, doing all of these tasks, rather than we automating all of these around our world, right? So I feel that that's why a lot of these people are basically trying to build humanoid robot. What do you think? What's your thought on that?
I love that thought actually. I was actually thinking about the human factor. So, for example, right, let's say you are sitting in your house, and then let's say you have a couple of machines running around in your house. How would you feel? In general, it would give me jitters to say, okay, like if a kid is running around the house, you'll be comfortable. You know that that person is, or that human is like very similar to you. But if a bot is running around the house, that human aspect of a person is lost. That's the reason I feel like if you have a humanoid which looks like you, does functions like you, etc., it would make you a lot more comfortable to have a machine running around than any other bot. But I love the way you told as well, right? Because we design things for ourselves. It could be a dishwasher, it could be a washing machine, it could be cooking. We design things for ourselves. So
Or
if you want,
stairs, right? The way house is modeled, right? Like all of that is designed around the way humans use it, right?
yeah, so that way it actually makes sense to build a bot which is similar looking or similar capabilities as you to do similar things.
If you're liking this video, smash that like button so that the YouTube algorithm will show it to more people who can benefit from this content. Let's dig deep into Boston dynamics here, Funny. So give us more details on that.
Yeah, absolutely, Sidhu. So when I think about Boston Dynamics, right, there is only three things that come into mind. The first one is the spot, the second one is the atlas, and third one is the stretch. So spot is basically, I think all of us have seen those videos, right? A dog kind of bot is running around, jumping around, being abused by all the Boston Dynamics people, etc. So that was the one that was started in early stages where they partnered with, I believe, U.S. military, and then they wanted something that can transport goods in different kinds of terrains and environments. And if you see the journey of that, that is dramatically changed. Like it started as something that can like carry maybe 10 pounds or 15 pounds, something like that. Now they also have the bigger spots that can carry like hundreds of pounds in different kinds of terrains. And then I think they continue to partner with the military to build a humanoid bots that can basically help them in terms of military, because all of these spots cannot go there easily with military because they make crazy amount of noise when they go there. So that's the reason I think they went with like humanoid kind of bots that doesn't make too much sound but does things that a human tells. It's not like you said, right? It's not the kind like Optimus where it can do things on its own. This is more like it can only do things that a human programs within that. And the third one, which I loved recently, is the stretch. This is the more real world use case that is actually helping humans right now, which is basically this is a big machine that you can basically put in a warehouse, and it actually unloads all the boxes or the cartons that are there in a container and puts everything into what do you call that, in a warehouse. You have those machines where they transport the goods, right? It can put everything into that, saves crazy amount of time. It doesn't have any restriction on the types of boxes that you can carry. It can do it in a much smoother way than humans.
So I'm assuming like the spot or the humanoid are more used for use cases uh, in which humans cannot, to go to places in which humans cannot go, right? Something like places where there are poisonous gases, or places there is fire and all of that stuff where humans cannot go, right? Like these can go and help and all of that. And I think the first best use case would be military for all of that, right? And the second stretch which you're talking about is more real-time use, where it could be used in multiple different warehouses to kind of do it in a much efficient way rather than humans doing it.
It can revolutionize the supply chain industry, right? Because supply chain as an industry does a lot, like moves a lot of small things, and humans are not scaled to do that. And I've also seen like different warehouses, right, where there are like hundreds of small bots running around, carrying around things. So for all of these use cases, the Boston Dynamics have nailed it big time.
Yeah, yeah. But so I think when we look at the way Boston Scientific is going, right, they're basically developing something for each use case. But I think Tesla is taking a different approach here, where they want to create something general purpose, right? Like where it's basically trying to do. It's not trained to do a specific task, but it is tasked to do a specific thing where it will basically figure that out as a human does it. So I think that's what they're aiming to, which is a even harder problem to solve for, right?
Do you want to listen to more tech trends like this? If so, please don't forget to subscribe.
But I think Tesla is taking a different approach here, where they want to create something general purpose, right? Like where it's basically trying to do. It's not trained to do a specific task, but it is tasked to do a specific thing where it will basically figure that out as a human does it. So I think that's what they're aiming to, which is a even harder problem to solve for, right? But I feel that Tesla could be strategically, in a really good space to solve that. Like the reason I feel that is they are repurposing all their computer vision software, right, into the bot, where it uses the similar thing which a car recognizes, right, the camera and sensors are the eyes and of a car kind of being put into the robo. And the second strategic advantage I feel is Tesla has excelled manufacturing, optimizing at manufacturing, right? Where basically you in the gigafactory, right? From one end of the gigafactory, raw material goes in, and from the other end, the car comes out. So it's 95% of it is automated, right? The 5% are like small things which are too expensive to automate. So I think they have basically kind of optimized for all of that, so that manufacturing optimization also helps Tesla. And the third thing I feel that is they basically kind of think from first principles and try to create everything from scratch, where where Elon was saying that they're even redesigning actuators and all of that, and they're not repurposing or using which is out there in the market. So that's basically customizing the hardware basically for this humanoid robot. So I feel that all of these three could help Tesla to get to a better position than and also are placed in a better strategic position than the other companies here.
Yep, 100%. I also see a couple of things here, right? So like you said, their AI is extremely powerful. Like a car driving on itself basically understands a lot of things on the road, and it's not easily possible. And they have put a lot of effort for that, and now they're reaping the benefits out of it, not just within the cars. So they're expanding to other industries and utilizing the same AI that they have, like what do you say, exceptionally built. Like you were telling, right? I'm sure Elon Musk won't come and tell that, hey, I'm going to replace the jobs of my own factory workers. So that's the reason I think he's also marketing it as a generalized AI, which can do like several things. But I'm sure he'll be using these bots to do all of these minute things within the car that a human might take a lot of time. But overall, right, it might still not kill the jobs industry. The way I'm thinking about it, it's going to make humans much more scalable. The reason is it can do all these minute operations that a human doesn't have to do. Rather, a human can focus on a lot of like creative work or anything that a person has to think and do. All of those things can be done by humans, and anything that is a material work can be done by all of these bots.
Yeah. So maybe let's go on a little bit of a tangent, right? So I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of hype around, AI is going to take all the jobs, all of these humanoids would replace all the jobs and all of that stuff. So what is your take on it? Like, what do you feel? So do you think it's basically the jobs will move to a different skill?
I think so. So think of it like this, right? I was seeing some video like some time back. So if you think of humans 20 years, or not even 20 years, like 50 years before us, like in order for us to like meet a person, you would probably walk like miles and miles. Like, let's take our dad's generation, right? In order for them to like go to schools, they walked miles and miles every day to do that. All of the time that they wasted in going to a place, now we don't do that. We just have a machine do it, but then we do the thing of like going to school and learning. So the same thing would happen here as well, right? Where a lot of the things that we currently do, like let's say fixing a bolt in a car, or let's say thinking about writing a paragraph, etc., which might not be actually bringing value. The actual value comes with the car, or the actual value comes when you actually publish this paragraph in your school essay and then get some results. So all of this mundane work, which can be done by someone else, bots will do it, but then we will reap the benefits out of that. We will have a lot more resources to like utilize, play around, and utilize our time in a better way.
So most of the repetitive, boring tasks will be replaced, but people will upskill to move on to different jobs which you can do, right? So I think I also have a similar take where like I've gotten this argument a lot of times with a lot of different people. So I feel that over the generations, right, people have newer technologies have been disrupting things, and people have been moving from one job to another job, right? So initially 90% of the people or 95% of the people were farming, right? After hunter gatherers, they were just farming. So once the industrial revolution came and everything was more centralized, right, then people moved into industries. After the industrial revolution, where the internet came in, right, and automation was there, people were moving into different places. And now even when humanoids come, or autonomous cars and all of this come, people will move into other skills and other places. And I would say there's like nothing like people will be losing jobs, but people will be upskilling and making their life much and much better, and all of these repetitive tasks will go away and more creative jobs will come. Yeah. So
Imagine,
yeah.
imagine this one, Sidhu. So we spend a lot of time like editing videos, like creating thumbnails and all of this, right? Imagine this. We just speak like this for an hour and then let the AI create the video, edit the video in the right way, add all the required details in the video, and then finally publish it. Saves
so we
crazy amount of time for us.
so we can do one video every day.
One video every hour.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Okay, perfect. So I think it's a good discussion, how Boston Dynamics is going, and also how Tesla is going in creating these humanoid bots. So what do you think the overall industry would look like?
I hope you're enjoying this video. If so, please don't forget to subscribe.
I was actually trying to do math, like how big the industry could be, and I know how many robots will be there and all of that stuff. Looks like the typical cost of a humanoid robot, building, it is like 150 k, right? $150,000. But Tesla or Elon is claiming that they would do it for 20,000, right? You never know. Even the Model 3 was said it would be 29,900, and now it's like 50 or 60k. I was doing a math around taking, imagine you have a 20,000 robo, and every person in the world has one. So it's something like a 158 trillion market. And in Tesla's investor day, Elon is even saying that the humanoid bots could be more than one is to one. It could be more than the number of humans, because it is used in industries and all of that stuff. So that's a very, very huge big market, right? If this is going to be a reality. And he will also mentioned that car would be a much smaller chunk if humanoid robo is going to come out and be a product compared to this. So that's how he's thinking about this.
No, that's an awesome calculation, Sidhu. So I mean, not even like human, right? Even if we can get it to individual household, that's crazy. And I'm sure like different versions of them would start to come up. Even Tesla started that. Tesla did that, right? Model 3, Y, X, etc., which has like different variations of what it does.
One with big muscles who can lift much bigger weights, right? One with just smaller things and all of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So, and there's also a stat saying that every, on an average, a, a person spends close to 1 month of his time doing household work. So that's, and when you look at the average salary in the US, it's close to $4,500 or something like that. So, and if a person buys something like a humanoid bot, right, it takes him around 4.5 years to realize the cost of it. That's the stat. So, and the justification is that if there is something that is available, people would definitely want to get that done.
Yeah. A slightly different thought process there is, if there is something that is actually working in the industry, I mean, working in the world, that's when people would be investing on it.
Yeah.
But I don't think people would go at it like right away. The way, at least, that Tesla was telling is a generalized bot that can start to do certain things really well is probably in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
was the basic first version that's going to come into the market. Obviously, it's going to have like crazy amount of bugs that they'll have to solve for. But probably in the next 15 years, we can definitely expect something that does basic things really well. At least that's what we can expect from like either Tesla's or Boston Dynamics. I think what Boston Dynamics is lacking, which Tesla has, is that strong vision. But once Tesla start doing things, there would be several other companies that would come into the industry trying to do the same thing. So it would like accelerate that industry in a much more faster way.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Let's double click on that, Funny. So I think one once an industry leader comes and picks saying that we want to do this, there is like a bandwagon which all the other companies start getting into, right? There are interfaces developed around it, applications developed around it, and also additional use cases that are developed in it. So overall industry benefits, and also there's a lot of venture capital that is poured into that specific idea. I think maybe there'll be 100 or 150 companies that are coming out of this, but like 5 or 6 will be successful, and that will actually move that vision towards that the final version of that humanoid bot.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think this is a good segue to see like what are the risks of, like, we are saying this could be the potential, but there are also a lot of downsides of, why not these companies can actually, or at least hurdles these companies have to overcome to get to that spot. Let's get into those details. What do you think are the hurdles?
Yeah, a couple of things that come to my mind is regulatory issues. So this will be a whole new thing that would come into the market. Like a lot of people would be more skeptical than seeing the benefits. Because imagine this, right? Let's say something gets released tomorrow, and then you're going to lose a job. It's going to impact your life like crazy. So at that point, people would be more skeptical in doing that. More than people, governments would be like more skeptical in doing this, because imagine the situation: thousands of people lose their jobs overnight. It would impact the economy in a way that it can't come back for the next few decades. So it's very tough to like cross that regulatory hurdle. And the second one probably is, if in case companies cannot achieve this, the more delayed they would be, the more capital that would be lost into this. So for anything, right? Unless and until the outcome comes out of that, whatever the money that you're pouring into it is lost. There is no outcome for it. So we could be doing that for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Same with the metaverse that's happening right now, right? Companies have been pouring like billions and billions of dollars, which is not reaping any benefits out of that. Same thing might be happening here. That money could be well spent on something else for humans, which is basically going on the on developing the bots, which is not reaping any benefits.
Yeah, that's very true. And also, I feel that there are a lot of challenges which companies have to overcome. Right? There's this charge issue, right? There has been no big revolution in the overall lithium ion batteries and all of that stuff, right? So it can only hold charge for so and so, and it's limited, it's costly, and all of that stuff. So that has to be solved, right? Overall. And also the manufacturing, right? There's no specific manufacturing equipment that could manufacture these. So all of that also should be developed. The cost of parts is still very high, right? As we talked about it, it costs an average humanoid robot 150,000 or something like that. Then add the additional cost markups and all of that a company has to do to run the business, run the show, and all of that. And there's also the, I think the biggest hurdle is autonomy. You're saying you're creating a general purpose robo which basically figures out things by its own, right? So that's a very difficult task. A car doing it on the road is much simpler because there are, the number of variables are less compared to a individual house, right? So there could be dogs around, there could be people walking around, people are of different shapes and sizes, and there, each of the structure of a house could be completely different and all of that stuff. So all of that is also a very big hurdle all of these companies have to get through. So it's not an easy task, but it's always good to have a very futuristic vision where a team of people are rallying towards it, and figure out ways to uh, make it a reality.
Yep. But I think companies are making way towards that, Sidhu. So I know I was telling you, right? Astro. So I bought the Astro. I was very surprised with that. It has very basic capabilities, honestly. Like it has a tablet, it does some basic things. But it was trying to understand my map of my house yesterday. It did it really well, and the pace at which it goes, I was very scared that it'll hit something. It was very fast because I was expecting my the speed of my vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
The iRobos are roborag, right? It goes through every inch of the house to figure out what is there. This thing doesn't do that. It just goes at a much faster pace and figures out all the rooms and everything. At that pace of growth, I think humanoids can easily understand the homes, easily understand what's going on around, walk around, talk around, etc.
And once you you're done with experimenting, we have to do a video on how was
Yeah,
your
yeah,
experience.
100%. Yep. Yeah. Cool, Sidhu. Let's probably end it this way, right? If there is like two takeaways that you want our folks to take it, what is that from you?
Yeah, I think the first takeaway I would say is like think big, start small. I think that's a takeaway which we can take from Tesla and Elon. The second one is he's a marketing genius. I don't know, right? Like there has been so many people already doing this, but there was never so much buzz around humanoid robots and a company or people being excited about it. So I think these two are the things which I would take away out of the story here.
Yep. 100%. My takeaways in this, the first one is AI, similar to what we talked earlier, right? The growth in the industry in terms of AI is exponential, and everyone should spend time learning what's happening there, and then probably improve our knowledge as well in that space. Especially as product managers, right? You would definitely have a lot of products coming into the picture, and if you have the AI knowledge, you can ace the industry. And the second one that I could think of is um, software and hardware coming together, right? That is always exceptional when that happens. Like it could be the industry of computers, where the actual machines coming together with the software that changed the work of humans, and that's what happening again in a much more exponential way. The software here is basically AI, and the hardware here is basically the robots that's coming along. I think Tesla started with the cars, but that's going to humanoids right now. So that's something, another skill as well. Like try to improve your skills in both the aspects that can help you grow. Awesome. Thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. And if you want to watch more videos like this, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our video.